I was hoping to announce a new version of ZTFTP today, but last week, instead of making progress, I had to take time out to pay down some technical debt. So the most common definition of technical debt that I've seen is it's from the business and entrepreneur world. It's when you prioritize speed, so getting things done quickly, over getting things designed and engineered right. So I guess the simplest example would be cutting corners to get something done quickly, knowing full well that you're not making the best design and engineering decisions and that these are going to come back to bite you later. You're going to have to redo things later. It's not the only way. Another example would be you made a design decision in the past that's not serving you anymore. Maybe the requirements, software requirements or engineering requirements have changed and those design decisions don't make sense anymore, and you choose to keep plowing ahead instead of going back and changing that. Now, as you do that, more and more things build up. Just like financial debt, things build up, and sooner or later, you're going to have to repay it. In this case, not paying money, but you pay it in having to redesign, refactor, sometimes throwing things away and starting from scratch, redoing anything. Now, the engineer in me would say, don't do it. Don't do it. Technical debt is horrible. Design things right? Because it's a real pain in the butt to have to redo things. It feels like a gigantic waste. But from a business and entrepreneur's perspective, remember the biggest waste, the absolute biggest waste, is to design or build something that nobody needs or wants. Right? And especially if you spend months and years of your life perfectly engineering a product or service that nobody's going to use. That's like the biggest waste ever. So given the uncertainty when creating a new product or a new business, a new startup, it can make sense to prioritize speed over getting things done right in order to create what's called a minimum viable product, an MVP, and get it out there and see how people react. Get feedback. Do people want it? Do people like it? Do you need to change it? Right? And then you go back and you tweak it and you adjust it. And eventually, if you keep doing this, you will get product market fit. And then you'll get customers coming in and things will start growing. And at that point, you probably need to go back and do something about the technical debt that you've built up. Sorry to say, there's no hard and fast answer to that. It's very much an experience and a gut feeling thing. That said, I can give you a few guidelines. So the first one is obvious from what I just said. If you haven't got your MVP out there yet, you should probably err on speed versus paying down technical debt. And that's because you don't know if anybody is going to want or need what you are making. So the sooner you find that out, the better, because otherwise you might find out you've spent a whole bunch of money in your part of your life, your time, most valuable thing that you have, working on something that nobody wants. So in that situation, yes, you'd err on the side of speed rather than technical debt. Notice I'm saying err, not definitely do, because it depends on other factors. If you don't have product market fit yet, which means you're not at the point where you can start, when more and more sales are coming in, more and more customers are coming in, and you can maybe scale your business up, then you should probably still err on doing things fast over paying down technical debt, redesigning, refactoring. Now, like I say, I'm saying erring, not definite, because it depends on other factors. If the technical debt lies deep down in the core of your design and everything else is built on top of it, and this is why I was paying down technical debt last week, by the way. If it's deep down there and everything else is built on top of it, then at a certain point, the more you build on top of it, the more effort, the more time, effort, and money it's going to cost to redo it. So if in that case, then it's really a question of, okay, you may want to fix that before you build too much else on top. So in the case of Z2FTP, it was the API for the HTTP request handler. So the bit that responds to, when you visit the Z2FTP user interface via your web browser or the built-in UI, the handler that responds to the pages, it just had too many function parameters and it was rather unwieldy and annoying to work with. And I've been meaning to squish that down for a while now. And in the meantime, there's a new handler for this page and this settings page and that one. And if I'd kept on going, kept ignoring it, then sooner or later it would have been a gigantic task to rework that. So I decided I should do that last week. Means no new release this week. But in the long run, I think I'm better off. So I think those are the three things I can think of. If you are still in a situation where you don't know if you don't have product market fit, you don't know if people want your product, then you should probably err on doing things fast. And then once you have money rolling in, you err on paying down the technical debt, refactoring things that need, or redesigning things that need to be redesigned, so that you are in a position that you can scale your business up and serve more people. With the caveat that if something is deep down in your design and everything else is built on top of it, you might want to deal with that sooner rather than later, because the longer you leave it in there, actually that's true with all technical debt, the longer you leave it in there, the harder and the more expensive it gets in both time and money, to fix it. So I hope that was helpful. I hope to get Z2FTP release done before the end of this year. If not, it'll be in January. Until then, see you later.